50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager on the Road edition. I'm your host, Dylan Rockford. I am in Orlando, Florida, in another country, Dominican Republic. How are you?
How's the Wi-Fi, Dylan?
It's good. It's good for right now.
Shockingly, so shout out my dad. We in Dominican Republic. I'm in his house right now, having a good time so far. Having a great time so far. So I'm glad that we're able to do this EP deal. We're both not in Jersey, but we're here reporting live for the people.
How does the father like the wife?
The wife is crazy. Personally, bro, he knows that she's a good girl.
Yeah.
He was like, you could tell. He's like, because, he's an OG, So he was like, I could tell from the back, that's a good girl, and I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm. First time meeting, correct?
First time meeting ever.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good time. My first day in Sarasota, I came out of the Gulf of America. And by the way, with all these little gift shops they have at the water, it's not Gulf of Mexico, it's Gulf of America. I love it.
Damn right.
I love it. It's so funny. So I come out of the water, right? And Florida, they have these it'll rain for 5 minutes and then stop. Rain for 5. So it's like on and off. And we had our phones out and we're in the water. And she goes, I'm gonna run and put our phones away because they're gonna get wet. So I was like, all right, I'll help you. So I'm running out of the water. I get there, and as soon as I touched the blanket, something stung me, something sharp got into my system. Can't see it, but I was like, yo, and it's not a splinter. We've had splinters our whole life. Wasn't a splinter. My whole hand swelled up, and I was like, nah, I'm allergic to bees. But there was no bees around. But we went to urgent care, and the girl was like, yo, it might be a stingray barnacle down in Florida, where stingrays they go. If they're close to land, they have barnacles that have like little prickles that if you touch, the venom gets into your system. I'm like, venom? I'm like, yo, am I gonna die? She was like, nah, that's just the word of it, but you won't die. She was
you
like,
shouldn't be using the word venom.
Bro, freaking me out. And I'm in my head, I'm sitting there like, nah. I was like, just get the venom out. And she was like, all right, well, we got the steroid. And I was like, steroid? I was like, I've never taken roids. Yeah, I'm ready to be yoked now. So, yeah. So she was like, all right, you got 2 ways of putting it, ingesting it. One, you could take the shot, or we do the normal way, and we give you a shot in the butt.
Shot in the butt.
Bro, I took a drink. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I would have took the shot in the butt like the real shit. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get yoked real quick.
But all in all, it went down. Everything's good. And it still hurts a little bit, but it's just a little sore.
Of course. So you texted me initially saying it was a bee sting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Now it's a stingray barnacle.
Correct.
Never heard of that, but that's
me either.
The Florida life, people. That's the Florida life. People say, I forgot who said this, but they said two craziest people come from these 2 places. The Bronx and all of Florida.
Yeah.
So
they're not lying. The boogie down gets crazy, and then Florida is...
The whole state of Florida is...
Bro, I walked out of the airport, and I was like, oh, it's beautiful. And then the humidity hit me.
Punched you.
Bro,
and then it hit you. It punched you.
No, but it's not even hot. It's like 80, 85, but the humidity, bro,
makes it feel like 100. Yeah. I remember last time I was in Florida, my uncle was moving, and I helped him cut his coconut tree, a palm tree, whatever it was. Because when I tell you I lost 4 to 5 pounds in an hour cutting that tree, it was no joke. And it was like April.
Yeah, no joke.
So I can't even imagine the end of August.
Well, after this, I'm gonna relax, go by the pool, try to relax.
Yeah, try to,
Um,
man.
yeah, so we got a great episode for you. We'll recap the week or the weekend. We'll finish the NFC South. We got the Saints and the Falcons, and then since we're recording early in the day, we'll have some MLB plays for you guys. But kid, week 0, 1-2. We get there with we get there with Hawaii, but Sam Houston, they almost covered the 10.5, but then late in the game, Western Kentucky took like a 10 or 15 point lead. They winded winning. Sam Houston did not cover, and Iowa State won outright. What did I say? This has to be we got to keep track of it. In Ireland, dogs are winning outright. So it was a bad day for
It was a sloppy game. Shout out the rain. It made it interesting.
mhm.
Iowa gave them everything. I knew from the first punt this game was going to be a zoo. And I was upset I couldn't watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to watch some clips of it and everything, though. Very fun game. I hope more games are going overseas, not just at the NFL level, but college and all these other levels, because it's fun. And one thing about these other countries, especially like in Europe and all these places, the fans are going to show up. There's no doubt about it. So to me, it was great, and I hope this is a trend moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was really cool to see. I mean, the first possession turnover, and then they punt it over, and then Kansas State turns it over.
Yeah.
It was just back and forth. It was really entertaining, but there was opportunities for Kansas State. They, especially late in the game, but they just couldn't get a stop. So give credit to Iowa State, big win on the road. UNLV, they won, but Idaho State, holy shit, they opened up to a 10-point lead. I thought UNLV was going to lose outright, so that was tough to see. Kansas, they blew out Fresno State by like 24. And then, week 1 officially starts Thursday. We got a bunch of games on Thursday. Rutgers winds up playing. We got Boise State and South Florida. And then, obviously, the huge slate will be on Saturday. But, it was a pretty eventful week 0 in overseas. NFL wise, did you see? I know we talked about the Panthers last week, but their right tackle Taylor Morton, he got a 2-year, $44 million extension. So $40 million of that was guaranteed. That was good. We also had a trade. Commanders, we were just a few weeks late on this, but Commanders trade Brian Robinson to the 49ers in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick. Do you like that move?
I love that. I love that move from the 49ers just because, Christian McCaffrey should be, 100% healthy. But after last season, there's no certainty, there's no certainty there. So the fact that you're able to add, to me, a pretty good running back, maybe not a full-time starter, but I think Brian Robinson Jr. is definitely a good back. And why I love the move, though, we've seen countless. When I say countless running backs have success in San Francisco under Kyle Shanahan. So there's a small chance still we might see the best version of Brian Robinson Jr. in San Francisco if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. So I hope Christian McCaffrey don't get hurt. I don't. But if he does, I think Brian Robinson Jr. might be a great fit for the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to see their running back.
I think they got Guerrero. I haven't looked at it, but it's Guerrero, CMC, and maybe now Brian Robinson Jr.
Brian Robinson Jr., yeah. And obviously they have Kyle Juszczyk at the fullback position. And I think they're going to run the ball early on here because they're dealing with a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries. Think about it. Is Juwan Jennings, is he a question mark for week 1?
So they said, they actually came out and said he is still hurt, but he should be ready for next week.
I think he was just not wanting to play in the preseason to hopefully get a new deal done before the the start of the season. To me, it's a shame because he had such a productive season last season. And I don't know why the 49ers don't want to extend him. Maybe he's asking for too much of a bag. But at the end of the day, you got to reward players after a productive season. You can't lie. He had a productive season last year.
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to look up just basically the latest on him. And last thing I saw was Kyle Shanahan said he's gonna play, but he's in a contract year now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what they're gonna do. They said he'll be ready. We'll see. I want to see if he was actually hurt. That'd be very interesting.
Think about it. Last season, he had his career high, 6 touchdowns, 975 yards, 77 receptions. That's a solid number 2 for a bunch of teams out there. Shit, he might have done better than some number 1s out there. He averaged almost 13 yards a catch.
Are you drafting him?
I drafted him last year. No, I picked him up last year, and he did great. So would I draft him this year? Absolutely. But I got to see, man, because the contract is there. If he's out there week 1, 100%. If this guarantee he's going to be week 1 starter, he's on the field, he's healthy, I'll definitely draft Juwan Jennings. Just because I feel like he could replicate the numbers he had last season. I wouldn't be surprised he has 800-plus yards, 70-plus catches, 5-plus touchdowns, 4-plus touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprised at those numbers at all.
Derp, I'm not depressed this morning. I'm actually very happy. I'm on vacation. I'm chilling. It's just early, honestly. I went to bed late, woke up, had 1 cup of coffee. I was like, damn, it's 8:45. I gotta get recording right now.
See me, I'm still on like work time. I woke up like 4-something a.m. Took a piss.
So you were chilling.
I went back to sleep. Woke up like at 6-something, and I just stood up.
By the way, did you see? What's good with Shiloh Sanders? Why he throw a punch at Zach Davison, and then less than 24 hours later he got waived?
The punch. It is what it is. And I'm not shocked that he got waived by the Buccaneers. Let's not forget he went undrafted. He got signed after the draft from the Bucs. And overall, I think he had a signed free agent, undrafted free agent. I think he had a pretty good preseason. But at the end of the day, not surprised he didn't make the 53-man roster.
I think it's because he threw the punch. If he didn't throw the punch, I think he probably would have stayed on the team, or at least a practice squad.
Yeah, maybe and I wouldn't be surprised, if there's a couple injuries, because we know the history, especially at the secondary with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wouldn't be surprised if Shiloh is a Buccaneer or on the practice squad come week 8.
Yeah, hopefully his agent said hopefully someone does sign him, but it was unfortunate. Derp said he was in Williamsport for the Little League World Series. Shout out Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, shout out Taipei, man. First title since
67.
I think 86 or 96.
Yeah, it was a while.
86 or 96, yeah.
They blew them out. Shout out the boys from Nevada. They tried to
first time Vegas made the World Series, yeah.
And Fairfield, Connecticut beat Aruba for 3rd place. So hey, we got 2nd and 3rd place, but when are we gonna win it?
Never. I'm gonna be honest.
It sucks.
At the end of the day, Dill, you can't. We have the talent. It's not like we got the talent. It's just, bro, some of these teams overseas are really good. Like, you can't deny some of these kids are really, really good. I'm not saying the Americans aren't good. It's just you have all these teams competing against American teams, and then they play only American teams, and then they jump and play international teams. To me, that's a whole different style. So I feel like American teams should exhibition more national teams beginning of the year so they can have a feel of international play.
100%, bro. I'm looking at the squads right now. So, wait, no, I think Florida won last year.
Florida did.
Lake
win
Mary. Mary, Florida won. They beat Taiwan. Chinese Taipei, whatever. The whole thing. Honestly, we won last few years. 2023, California. 2022, Hawaii. 2021, Michigan. 2019, Louisiana. 2018, Hawaii. Oh, we run this shit. Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
2027, Japan won. Japan went on a run, I think.
Yeah, Japan, and the team.
Shout out New York. They won in 2016, and then this is when Japan went crazy. They won in 2015, 2014, 2013, and 2012. They went at 4-peat on us.
They haven't won since.
They haven't won since. Then Huntington Beach, California won in 2011. 2010, Tokyo won. Damn. So, all right. So
it's kind of evenly split. It's evenly split.
New Jersey has 4 titles. We won in 1949, 1970, 1975, and 1998.
Damn, we got to win one.
We
got to win one in this century.
United States has the most. We have 40 titles. You know who has second?
Japan.
They're third with 11. Chinese Taipei has 18. That's pretty good.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Chinese Taipei. Shout out.
I went on this rant, but anyway, yeah. So, by the way, also preseason, did you see Micah Parsons sleeping on the sidelines? What did you think about that?
I'm gonna be honest. I think it was a great decision.
Really? Because everyone was so mad, and I didn't even.
Why you
didn't
mad?
pay him?
You don't
didn't pay him.
Why? He first of all, y'all lucky he showed up. I would have. Me personally, I would have.
That was what I was going to say.
I would have. If I'm Micah Parsons, I'm taking the fine. I'm shooting a commercial. I might be streaming week 1. If I'm Micah Parsons, I probably would have been streaming, watching the game, and saying, "Oh, I would have made that tackle. I would have got a sack here." Ignorant. Why not?
Did you see one of the reporters when he was walking in and he like gave the like call me phone? They said, "Come to the Falcons." Everyone wants Micah Parsons.
At the end of the day, I think this is if Micah Parsons somehow is not a Cowboy, not just this upcoming season. I'm saying for the next 5 seasons. I think Jerry Jones fumbled a generational talent. I think Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in all of football. I understand the Cowboys haven't won anything. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you gotta pay your players. And there's no doubt Minka's a top 5 defensive player.
100%.
You gotta get top 5 money. I'm sorry, Jerry.
We talked about this in the early month of August and maybe early or late July, and you said, I'm not worried. But we're about a week away now, kid. Terry McLaurin hasn't signed, and so hasn't Micah Parsons. Are we still not worried?
Oh, I'm panicking.
Okay,
the season starts in what? Less than 10 days?
The 4th.
9 days, right? So I know that's just Eagles and Cowboys start, right?
Yes, but still.
And then so the season really starts in like 13 days. If I'm a Cowboys fan, if I'm a Washington Commanders fan, I'm panicking just because you can make a case the Cowboys is down their best player overall on the team, Micah Parsons. Definitely the best player on the defensive side of the ball. And you can make a case outside of Jalen Daniels, Terry McLaurin is the most important person on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. So the fact that you have, I'm gonna say one contender. I'm gonna put Washington in contender category. They did make the NFC Championship last year. I'm gonna give them that. They were a Final Four team last year. And then you have a team that has, I'm gonna be nice, playoff aspirations, right? How are you planning to, one, be a contender or make the playoffs without your best player on one of each side? So if I'm watching the Commanders, I need Teddy McLaurin either traded by tonight or signed by tonight because I need a full week of practice. I need a full week of practice. If I'm Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, I'm either trading Micah Parsons tonight or I'm signing him tonight because I need a full week and a half of practice.
I'm scared they're not going to be ready for week 1.
No, my thing is, if they're not training, they're not actively practicing, and they happen to go out there week 1 and week 2, they're gonna end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that from Scary Terry or Micah Parsons because that might fuck up their bag moving forward. Mm-hmm. So if I'm Scary Terry, if I'm Micah Parsons, I'm either trying to have a sit down. I'm trying to get a deal done by no later by Wednesday, get traded no later than Wednesday, or I'm about to sit it out.
Hopefully a deal gets done for both of them this week, so at least they have some time to prep and get ready here for the season.
I'm gonna be honest, either of them shouldn't play week 1. I wouldn't. Maybe make a Parsons because he could, you could put him out there on 3rd downs. Definitely pass a passing down. I'll put Micah out there, but Scary Terry, I'm not going to put him out there week 1.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
It's scary right now, no pun intended. Jackson Dark lit you guys up. I mean,
oh yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Shout out the Giants.
Yo, they got aura, bro.
No, you and aura. One thing I could give to the Giants. First, I want to take credit on myself and Ryan for flipping Dylan. Dylan was a no-go on the Giants. I'm not saying the Giants are going to be this. All I'm saying is I like them to win over 6.5 games. That's all. So one thing and another thing I could say is there's no doubt in my mind the Giants has been the most impressive team this preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think all quarterbacks, even down to Jameis, played pretty well. I think Jackson Dart, I'm on record saying this last week or 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. I think Jackson Dart has a solid chance of starting. I know Russ is probably named the starter. He probably will be starting, but I think Jackson Dart showed he might be ready to start week 1. Not saying he will be, but I think he's shown, hey, Brian Daboll made the right decision on drafting him. I think he proved me wrong already. I've seen Jackson Dart played 3 straight weeks, and I'll be honest, I've been impressed each time. So shout out to Jackson Dart, shout out Russ, shout out Brian Daboll, shout out the Giants for my eyes, in my opinion, being the most impressive team this preseason.
Yeah, 100%. He's been incredible. Every quarterback, I feel like, even Tommy DeVito has been playing all right.
He's a vet now. He's been there.
They might, just like how the Browns are doing, they plan on keeping 4 quarterbacks, which I did not expect.
Yeah, to me, that's a little, especially nowadays, it's a little out there. But at the end of the day, with the Cleveland Browns situation, though, do you think Joe Flacco is going to be starting 10 weeks from now?
10 weeks?
Week 10. Will he be the starter? It's a question.
I probably not, but I hope
probably
so.
Not. So I understand why you have 4. Week 10, do you think Russell Wilson will be the starter for the New York Giants?
No.
So I could see why they have 4 quarterbacks on the depth chart. All these other teams that have 3, we know that number 1 quarterback is going to be the starter throughout the season.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns and New York Giants don't know if their number 1 guy, their starting quarterback for week 1 will be the man come week 10, week 12, week 15. So that's why I understand. I personally would have a 3-man rotation, but I could see why the Giants and the Cleveland Browns are the only teams with 4 quarterbacks on the depth chart. And let's not forget, the Browns have 5. Deshaun Watson is hurt, and he's there. He's on the team. He's just not active. So let's just say Deshaun Watson, I don't know if he's been declared to miss this whole season, but let's just say come week 12, Deshaun Watson's like, yo, I'm ready to play. Who gets cut? Is he out for the season?
I don't know. I got to check. I don't think so.
Because he got hurt like March. Like, it's like he got hurt right after the Super Bowl.
Deshaun Watson.
I don't know.
Injury. He tore his Achilles, so.
Oh yeah, he's out for the year.
Yeah, they said they said he's not going to return. Ruptured his Achilles is crazy.
Even that's what Tyrese Halliburton did. He ruptured.
Yeah. That's insane. No NBA news though. Nothing that I saw. Did you see anything over in the association?
Not the associations, but shout out the big 3, man. Miami won the title. Mario Chalmers hit a game winner while the buzzer expired.
He's just a winner.
Yeah, champion college, champion high school, champion the NBA. I understand he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, but I think Mario Chalmers is pretty damn good.
D Wade went on a podcast and they said who was outside of maybe like obviously LeBron and Shaq, and maybe Chris Bosh. They said who was like one of your favorite teammates. He goes, Mario Chalmers. He goes, the man was so good. He was just like he's one of the most underrated players. He was a great person as well. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm glad Mario Chalmers is getting that recognition.
Yeah. So shout out Lance Stevenson, Michael Beasley, and Mario Chalmers are winning the Big 3 championship. Shout out Ice Cube as well.
They said also, you mentioned Michael Beasley, but the guy in the NBA, Michael Beasley, no federal investigation. His name's been cleared from the gambling thing. Yeah. So everything that people were saying, lies.
Yeah. So shout out Malik Beasley. It's a shame that he was investigated and everything is clear now. So if I'm him, I'm gonna go over 3s continuously because I think that's his job to go over his 3 number. His job is to hit as many 3s a game as possible. Mm-hmm. He's an elite 3-point shooter. His job is not to pass the ball. His job is not to play elite defense. His job is not to attack the rim. His job is to shoot 40+% from the 3-point line. Yeah. I'd be damned if I'm getting investigated for doing my job.
It's a sad state that we're in now.
So Malik Beasley, I hope you go over 75% of your 3.
And they also said now that he's been cleared, the number 1 team that's been looking at him, the New York Knicks, baby. Let's fucking go. If we sign him, we got to shoot at him.
Y'all shouldn't have no money left. I'm going to be honest.
We got a billionaire.
you re-signed Jalen Brunson. Y'all re-signed what else did y'all re-sign? I don't know, but there's no way y'all
Malik Bridges.
Yeah, Malik Bridges. You gave OG $200 million a year ago. How the fuck you got Malik Beasley's a $10 million player plus? I don't know. I just don't see it though. I don't see it.
I'm gonna see how much the Knicks have in cap space right now.
Has to be in the luxury tax. There's no way y'all have money available.
Oh yeah, we have no money.
I know. Still, it's simple math. Cat $200 million.
So right
Brunson,
now, Cat's
Bridges,
making
OG.
Yeah, Cat's making $53 million a year. OG's making 39. Jalen's making 34, which I think he's underpaid. Malik's making 25. Josh Hart's making 20.
Shit.
Get this bum Mitchell Robinson off my team too.
You're bugging. Don't disrespect him.
He's making $12.5 million. That's too much.
I don't think it's too much. He averages in the playoffs, 5 offensive rebounds a game.
All right, and so that's replaceable. Look what my boy Hartenstein was doing. He replaced Hartenstein. Hartenstein was doing it 2 years ago.
And y'all got farther this year or 2 years ago?
This year.
Okay.
Circumstances are circumstantial. That's what I'll say. But yeah, we're in the negatives. I'm looking at my thing.
I'm telling you, y'all gotta release somebody.
Release Mitchell Robinson.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I think y'all gotta rework either Cat Steele or OG Steele. I think Cat at $50+ million, while your best player on the team is $15 million under. If I'm the New York Knicks, I'm going up to Cat. I'm like, yo, we need a discount. Not crazy, but we need to at least drop it at least by $10 million a year.
He should not be the highest paid player on the Knicks. That shit's crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm not saying he don't deserve his money. He just shouldn't be the highest paid player on the Knicks. I agree with that.
We just need more money. Just print more money. That's
it's not more money. It's a higher cap.
Yeah.
I got the money. James Dolan got the money. Don't disrespect James Dolan now.
He created the sphere now. By the way, I always want to go out there. You've seen the sphere, right? Is it cool?
I saw it get built.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw it when they were building it.
All right, kid. Anything else over the weekend? I think I've hit everything. Anything that I missed that you saw?
No, that's about it, man. Shout out Mario Chalmers, Malik Beasley, and Michael Beasley, and Lance Stevenson.
All right, kid. Before we get to our NFL futures, a quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer. Got some on the way. Shout out CT Bets. He just texted me the tracking number. So we got some more Viva on the way for week 0 and week 1. No better time. It's the best seltzer according to the World Spirit Competition. It's light. 4.5 ABV, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar. It's the perfect drink for the post game with the boys. They flavor their tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like to flavor our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf in Florida or in DR having a little elderberry, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid. I wanted to start with the Saints just because there's not as much to talk about as opposed to
it ain't much at all.
Yeah. So we'll start with the New Orleans Saints. They bring in a whole new system. We got Brandon Staley as the new DC. Kellen Moore, welcome to the big leagues. You get your first head coach job. He's also going to call the plays as well. Tough year last year, 5-12. We'll see who they start. If it's the rookie out of Louisville, if it's Spencer Stradler, there's no quarterback props because we don't know who's going to be.
It's a huge question mark there.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's, they don't have the hardest schedule, but they're only favored in one game. The roster needs a lot of work. I mean, they're 29th and 30th in every aspect except the running back room. With Alvin Kamara, they're rated 19th in the running back room, but offensive line 22nd, quarterback 32nd, head coach 30th, secondary 29th, front 7 30th, receivers 29th. Outside of Chris Olave, it's like
And not for
It's
nothing,
tough.
I think they have a respectable receiver room, in my opinion. I think Brandon Cooks is still a pretty good vet.
But he's
Rashid,
old. Let's be
yeah,
honest. He's past his prime.
absolutely, no doubt about it. But he's a number 3. I think he's a solid number 3, not crazy, but it's a bad team, though, no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
it's a bad team. I like we're talking about
Mhm.
Rashid. He's the slot guy. I think he's all right. I like the offensive tackle that they got out of Texas, Kelvin Banks Jr.
Mhm.
He's gonna plug in right away and start. They got a new left tackle. They got a new left guard. We'll see. We'll see how they do. But this team, they're only favored in one game this year. Let's go into the numbers for them. We don't have to. They're 400-1 to win the Super Bowl. They're 150 to come out of the NFC. They have the last place odds to come out of the South at 13-1 to make the playoffs, plus 820 to miss the playoffs, 16-1. So nothing to talk about there unless you want to throw a flyer. But their win total is at 4.5. If you like the over, it's at minus 130. If you like the under, it's at plus 110. Like I said, they're only favored in one game this season. But what are we feeling here for the Saints, kid?
Dale, let's start right there. Let's start with the under 4.5. I just don't see them. I just don't see an improvement. Don't get me wrong.
Anywhere.
I think Kellen Moore is an upgrade at that head coach over Dennis. Dennis? Look, shout out
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen, yeah. Shout out Dennis Allen. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. Head coach, some people they can't make it as a head coach. But shout out Dennis Allen. I think Kellen Moore is definitely an upgrade at the head coaching spot and offensive play calling. Other than that, I don't see how this team got any better, in my opinion. The biggest question mark to me is the quarterback. I think you have to go with the rookie. I think we've seen what Spencer Rattler is. And we saw it for the second half of last season. It wasn't really good, So if I'm the Saints, if I'm Kellen Moore, I'm going to go out there and try to win games with the rookie. So I don't see much coming from the Saints team. Give me the under 4.5 wins still. I just don't see them getting to 5. I don't even see them getting to 4. If I could get a prop, a bet out there that had the worst record in football, I would take that as well.
Yeah, I think, losing Derek Carr, say what you want about Derek Carr. I think him retiring, put the Saints in a really bad position at quarterback. I like Tyler Shaw, the kid out of Louisville. I do think he'll start. That's why I was like, take the plus money with him, despite he is kind of old coming out of college. He's 26. He'll be 26 actually in September. Doesn't have a ton of experience, but I just don't think it'd be surprised me if they're looking for another quarterback in 2026. And contrary to the way the old Saints are, New Orleans, they fielded one of the league's worst defensive run defenses last year. They allowed the second most rushing yards per game, 141 on average. They were allowing 5 yards a pop. Like that's
unacceptable.
That's unacceptable for a defense, especially when you got, I thought, a pretty good linebacker core. They despite using their first round draft picks on offensive linemen in 4 of the last 6, the Saints still allow a 36% pressure rate, despite always drafting high level offensive tackles or offensive guards. They still allow a lot of pressure on their quarterback. So I just don't see 5 wins, kid. This team is one of the worst teams in the league. I agree. I think if there's a prop for the worst record in the league, I probably would take the Saints. And to be honest, I felt like I was nice. I gave them 3 wins. Like, there are wins that are like, they win?
I think personally, I think they might start 1-5. I gave them a win, but Dill, think about it. I gave them one,
Yeah, but to who?
So the first 6 weeks, this is how I did it.
Yeah.
Cardinals, that's an L. 49ers, that's an L. Seahawks, that's an L. Buffalo, that's an L. At home against the Giants, that might be an L. On the road, at home against the Patriots, that an L. So for the first 6 weeks of the season, they might start 0-6. And then right after that, they got the Buccaneers at home. The Rams.
The Bears, you missed that week 7 too.
Yeah. I said the Bears.
Okay.
Yeah. They got the Bears, and then the Bucks. They might not win a game till November, but I gave them one. I'm not gonna tell you which one because I just gave them one in the first 6 weeks of the year. But I think they start 0-6.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't see a win until maybe week 13 on the road against Miami.
Like, I get yo, you're so don't get me wrong.
No, I'm down on them. I'm down on them.
But come on, you're on record saying the Saints are better than the Dolphins.
And in week 13, do you really think Tua is going to be there?
I hope he is.
I hope he is too, but I don't think he is.
I hope he is, still, because we saw it. You called the man King Tua, and I was there right behind you. He was a top 10 quarterback when he's healthy. You can't deny the numbers he put up when he's healthy. I'm not the biggest Tua fan. You know, I'm an Alabama fan. I'm not the greatest Tua fan, but I can't deny when he's healthy, he puts up top 10 numbers. No denying there. But realistically, though, the Saints, maybe December 28th to end the year. The Jets at home. If they ever had to go to MetLife December 21st, dub. Yeah, but at home, you got a shot. At home against the Panthers December 14th, you got a shot. That's
like 3-4 wins. That's not it.
I don't see it. And not for nothing. I think the Panthers could sweep the Saints. I think the Jets could beat the Saints. I think Tennessee could probably beat the Saints at home. So I got them splitting with Tennessee. That's 1 win, right? Yeah. I got them splitting with Atlanta. That's 2 wins. And I give them another one. I give them 3 wins max, and I think they'll have the worst record in football.
Yeah, and especially since we're getting plus money, plus 110 on the under. I really like the under. I gave them 2-3 wins, and I'm giving them. There's a shot they only win 1-2 games, honestly.
Like I said, I say they split with the Panthers and the Falcons.
Yeah.
So that's 2. And then I give them another one, either the Jets, the Titans. Maybe they could pull something out their ass week 1 against the Cardinals, but I highly doubt it. Because the Cardinals even started good last season.
Do you think they start? We'll transition right into the players. Now, there's only 2 people to talk about, but no quarterback props. Do you think they start the rookie? Because I think so.
Me personally,
I think they should.
They should, because we saw what Spencer Rattler is. He's not the future. Point blank, he's not the future. I think you got to see if you have a future quarterback in your locker room. And I think you got to find out week 1.
Do you think there's a possibility, and I think there is, that say they are in a top 2 position again next year to draft a quarterback, they might draft Arch Manning.
If they're lucky
if he comes out.
Yeah, that's if he comes out. We know how the Mannings are through history. They're not shy on not wanting to go to a certain team. They're not shy on possibly forcing a trade. I'm just telling you what history has shown us, people.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, but can the NFL do, and I highly doubt, because Archie Manning is a special talent, is there a chance they do him like they did Shador?
No.
No, that's all. I'm just saying they might try to teach him a lesson.
That's interesting.
You can't fight. I'm not saying Archie Manning and Shador are on the same level.
No, because the NFL likes the Mannings.
All I'm saying is it's kind of the same thing. If Archie Manning comes out and say, or his dad comes out and say, "Oh, we don't want to go to Cleveland. We don't want to go here. We'll force a trade if we go here." How's that not the same thing that Deion said last year?
Yeah.
And they actually did it. Deion didn't do it. They did it with Eli.
We'll see. What about rushing? Alvin Kamara. That's probably their best player, him and Chris Olave. His rushing prop is at 775.5, minus 114 both ways. His rushing touchdowns short, but it's 4.5 at minus 114. Offensive line's not the greatest, but what are we feeling here for Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, they'll give me over 775.5. I think they're going to have to rush the ball. And I think Alvin Kamara has the capability of going over. One shocking thing that I saw, though, Alvin Kamara has never had a 1,000-yard rushing season in his career. It's been a long, you can say successful career so far. He never went for 1,000 yards. I'm kind of shocked by that, though. I think Alvin Kamara is a great running back, and the fact
He always
that
winds up missing time.
yeah, he always ends up missing a couple games. But I still think he'll get over this mark. He went over this mark 6 out of his 8 seasons. He might not get 1,000 yards, but to get him to 800 yards while missing a couple games, I think is doable. So give me over 70, 75 and a half. He's done it 6 out of 8 times in his career. And give me over 4.5 rushing touchdowns. If it was total touchdowns, receiving and rushing, I would love it. And how many times did we hit Alvin Kamara receiving total? I was looking for his receiving yards, hoping it was there. Wasn't. But if you could find Alvin Kamara, I'm telling you, his receiving prop is usually between 28.5 yards to 36.5 yards. Sometimes 40. Anything under 34.5 hit the over.
And now with Kellen Moore there, they're gonna pass the ball more. So yeah, I was looking for his receiving. His receiving prop is a gold mine. If you catch it at a good number early in the week, around like what Elvis said, 26.
Yeah. This is what I'll be doing. You know how like you could do a parlay and you could do 25 plus yards receiving? Alvin Kamara is an automatic on a parlay 25 plus yards receiving every week.
Yeah, he'd catch a couple bubble screens out of the backfield and he's gone.
He always makes a guy or two miss, and then he'll get the first down. He do that a couple times a game, you go over.
Speaking of receivers, they didn't have any Chris Olave props. I was surprised about.
I'm not shocked by it. Let's not forget Chris Olave there was a small chance that
he might not return.
Yeah, there was a small chance that he might have not returned in the NFL again. He dealt with back-to-back concussions within 3 weeks, and then they sat him down for the rest of the season. So I'm not shocked by it, but we can't deny, besides last season, Chris Olave at every season of his career has went over 1,000 yards. He's been special.
Ohio State.
Doubt. Yeah, so I hope he's able to return back to 100% because Chris Olave was a star on a bad team. And I honestly hope he could go out there and put up numbers like he did the first couple seasons in his career because he was a 1,000-yard receiver every year.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully he can make a return and, show people like who he really is because when healthy, he's a 1,000 guy. He's a 1,000 receiving yard.
He's a top 15 receiver, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. But the one guy they did have props on was Rashad Shaheed. His receiving yards is at 725.5. No touchdowns, but I feel like this number is low, kid, especially because he is a deep threat. How many times did we see Derek Carr? And obviously, Derek Carr is much different than these two guys, but Derek Carr used to hit him on a fucking post route all the time. I
remember last year, his prop was 4.5 touchdowns. And I remember you questioned me. You was like, really, kid? You like him over 4.5? I'm like, dude, he's the deep threat. What happened week 1? 2 receiving touchdowns. Yeah. So I would have loved his receiving touchdown prop, even if it would have been like 6.5, 7. I would have still smashed it over because he would have had at least 3 to 4 50-yard plus touchdowns. We saw it time and time again. He's the ultimate deep threat, and he got the speed to do it. So I think over 725.5 is very doable, even with the questions at quarter mark, just because there's a small chance still. He might be the number 1 with Chris Olave.
I feel like.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks with Chris Olave. There's no doubt Chris Olave, when he's on the field, he's the best offensive player. No doubt about it. But it's like Tua. Do you expect him to play the whole season? I don't know. I hope he does. And I think he's capable of doing it. It's just, is this concussion thing is going to reoccur like Tua? That's the biggest question. If he has another, let's just say, for example, he has another concussion, I might sideline him for the rest of the season. Just one.
And they'll shut him down.
At least for 5 weeks.
Yeah, and I think with the question marks with Brandon Cooks, being at the tail end of his career, Chris Olave we just explained, I think Shaheed's probably their number 1 receiver. So, yeah, I like the over. What about you?
Yeah, give me the over 725.5 minus 114. And if his touchdown prop was there, I would have taken his over as well. Like I said, I think he's good for at least 3 to 4 50-yard touchdowns.
Anything else on the Saints before we get to the Atlanta Falcons?
I know it's early, Dill, but give me week 1. Cardinals versus Saints in New Orleans. Don't get me wrong. I think Cardinals are laying 5.5 points. If you want to lay the 5.5, by all means.
Good teaser.
Give me the under 42.5 minus 110. I don't see New Orleans able to score. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say 17. And I'm going to say the Cardinals score about 24.
We're going to talk about the Cardinals
So
next
that's
week.
41. That's
Yeah.
41. Give me the under 42.5.
All right, kid. Let's go to the Atlanta Falcons. Second year for Raheem Morris. Second year for everyone. Oh, but they did bring in my boy Jeff Ulbrich for their new defensive coordinator as well. They signed Leonard Ford. Who else did they sign? No one really. But this team should be better. Second year for Michael Penix. First full year as a starter. Obviously, the running back room is really talented with Bijan and Algier. Kirk Cousins is the backup. I mean, he's staying. He's getting paid to be a backup right now.
Hey, shout out Kirk Cousins.
Kyle Pitts. I fall in love with Kyle Pitts every season. Drake London. Obviously, they have Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod III in the slot. So, you know, they're a talented bunch, kid. Quarterback, I think Michael Penix Jr. still needs to prove it a little bit, but they have a top 10 offensive line. They have a top 5 running back room, top 10-ish receiving room, I would say. The defense. That is always the question with this team. I also, the jury's still up on Raheem Morris. I don't know how I feel about him. I want to see him again this year. I think the secondary is obviously better than that front seven. The front seven is terrible, kid. I think.
And remember, they didn't even re-sign Matthew Judon.
Yeah, they let him walk.
Mm-hmm.
But to win the Super Bowl, they are 70-1. To come out of the NFC, they are 30-1. They have the second best odds to come out of the division at plus 220. To make the playoffs is at plus 140. 7.5 is their win total. The over is at minus 140, plus 120 if you like the under. I get bought into this team, I feel like, every other year. I feel like that's always the case. I come in here and I say, Elvis, I'm high on the Falcons again. I mean, they have the fourth easiest schedule. I like their win total over, but I'm not paying 140 to do that. I like the guys that they drafted, though. I really do. Both of them in the first round. They draft a linebacker, Jalen Walker, staying home out of Georgia, who's a dog, no pun intended. They draft the defensive end, James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee, who kind of fell late in the first round. Leonard Floyd they have. I think this defense is going to get better. I also like they went like full-on defense in this draft, which they needed to. The defense is terrible. They get the safety out of Notre Dame, Xavier Watts. They get another safety, I think his name's Billy something, Billy Bowen Jr. out of Oklahoma in the 4th round. They needed to address their defense, and I'm glad they did. This unit allowed 20 or more plays from their opponent's 30-yard line at the 3rd highest rate. I mean, they were just giving up big plays after big plays. They didn't blitz a lot either. But then you bring in a guy like Jalen Walker out of Georgia. You bring in James Pierce Jr. They're going to get after the quarterback now. And I have a little more faith in this defense. I like the win total over. I counted 8. I counted 9 wins. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to improve in year 2. I like him to make the playoffs. That's my play. I like him to make the playoffs here at plus 140. I think that is good a play. I even like them even a shot to win the division as well. It's even money for the Buccaneers, but if the Buccaneers fall or they run into an injury, I think this Falcon team can do it. I mean, they were one of 2 teams that did not fumble the football on a single rush attempt throughout the season. That's crazy. Turnovers are a game records, and Bijan Robinson has been one of the most reliable and strong ball carriers in the league. I think he's one of the best running backs in the league. And I know I had my questions when he came out of college, but I like this team. I know the defense worries a lot of people, but I love what they did in the draft. And they have an easy schedule, especially after week 7 on the road against the 49ers.
I'm glad you said after week 7.
Yeah, because they have a stretch where they play the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Colts, the Saints, Carolina, the Jets, the Falcons.
No, Seahawks.
Seahawks, I said, excuse me. Kid, that's 7 wins right there. Then they get the Falcons week,
So
the Saints week 8.
You think they're going to beat the Patriots in New England?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You're high on your team, and I get why. But
no, I'm not high on the team. I don't think the Falcons are that good.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that Week 10 game is the international game against the Colts. We'll see there, but I think there are very winnable games, even in Week 3. I think, and I'm a big Vikings fan, but they might catch the Falcons too on the road. That's Sunday Night Football. Who knows what Washington's going to be? There are going to be a lot of winnable games here. So and most of their hard games are at home. They get the Bills at home. They get Washington at home. They get the Rams at home. The only tough games I feel like on the road are obviously the Minnesota game. That's a standalone. They get the 49ers on the road, the Patriots on the road, Jets late in the season on the road, just with conditions, not saying the team.
Weather.
Yeah. But that's about it, kid. I don't really see a ton of road games that are challenging for this team. So I got faith in them. I think they're a good team on paper, and I think they can make some teams look bad. Like last year, they went 8-9. I think they're better than last year. So I could see 9-10 wins, and I could see them getting into the playoffs. So that's going to be my play.
One thing I can say is I think defensively they will improve because they were bad last year defensively, especially in the front. They couldn't get no pressure on the quarterback. They were last in sacks in the NFL. The secondary is pretty elite. There's no doubt about it. The secondary is pretty good. But if you're not able to put pressure on the quarterback, what's good of having a good secondary? Eventually, the wide receivers are gonna break free. Somebody's gonna be open after 2.5, 3 seconds. So don't get me wrong. I think Atlanta has a lot of potential. I think offensively, wide receiver core is pretty good. Wide receiver, running back room, top 5, no doubt there. I think B. John's one of the best running backs all of football. Is just the biggest question mark to me is Raheem Morris, Michael Penix Jr., who I honestly like him. We just gotta see it, flourish. And then the defense, especially the front 7. Those are my biggest question marks about this team. The schedule ain't the hardest though. But one thing I could say, I think they might start the season 1-5, 1-6. Week 1 against the Bucks, I think that's a loss. Week 2 against the Vikings, I'm not high on the Vikings, but I think that's just a tough spot for Atlanta. And Sunday night game in Minnesota, the crowd is going to be rocking in there. I think
Skulls.
It's going to be tough. I think that's just a tough spot for Atlanta. I think they have a chance week 3 in Carolina, but I'm going to give the edge to Carolina. I think Carolina should be favored in that game at home. Then you got the Commanders, the Bills, and 49ers. Still, I think there's a small chance you might start 1-5. So how could you recover from that? That's a tough schedule to start. I agree with you, Bill. From maybe not Miami, maybe not the Patriots, but the Colts, the Panthers, the Saints, the Jets, and Seattle at home. Throughout that stretch, I can see them winning majority of those games. And then you go at Buccaneers, at Arizona, home against the Rams. Those might be 3 back-to-back losses, though. So I just don't see it. Don't get me wrong, the potential is there, though. The potential is there. But give me the Falcons to miss the playoffs -172. Give me the under 7.5 wins at +120. Give me the under 8.5 wins at -140. I think this ball club is 6-7 win team. At the end of the day, like I said, potential is there, but I just don't see it.
The thing that surprised me the most is you said they should be an underdog week 3 on the road against Carolina. That's crazy to me. I can see it. Carolina improved, but this roster has talent.
What's the line
everywhere.
for week 3 real quick?
Atlanta is favored by 2.5 on the road.
If it gets to 3, I'm taking the +3.
Right now, the biggest underdog they are is week 7 at San Francisco. They're 7-point underdogs, which makes sense. They're on the road.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that's a little a little much, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, we got to see San Francisco.
Yeah, but that's week 7. They might be healthy at that point.
Keyword in your statement, might.
Might be, or they might be her. All right, kid. Let's go to some player props for this Atlanta Falcon team. We'll start with the quarterback position. Michael Penix Jr. 3,400.5 receiving yards, -114 both
Passing
ways.
yards.
What did I say? Receiving, passing yards. His passing touchdowns 18.5. I think that is extremely low. I'll give me the over on that. That's -130. With all the talent, I know Kyle Pitts Jr. really doesn't get a lot of touchdowns, but Drake London's a beast. You got Darnell Mooney who will get you 4 or 5. Ray McLeod. Bijan Robinson is a force out of the backfield as well, catching the ball. 18.5 I think is extremely low for Michael Penix Jr., especially with the talent he has around him.
Yeah, I think I remember last season. I think he ended the season. Let's just be honest, people. He didn't start. He ended up finishing the season. I think he had 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Still, I think he improves from that. I think 18.5 is reasonable, but it's low. Let's just be real. I think he has too much talent around him to go under 18.5 passing touchdown. I see Bijan catching at least 4 to 5 screens and taking it to the house. I'm with you. I think Drake London is going to have 5+ touchdowns. That's 10 right there. I think Darnell Mooney is going to have a couple of touchdowns. I just don't see why is at 18.5. Don't get me wrong. He's second year on a average team, below average team, so I can see why it's at 18.5. But it's a little low. Let's just be honest, people. I think 18.5 is just a little low. Give me the over 18.5. But give me under 34.5 passing yards still. And here's why. Question to you. Who do you think is a better passer of the ball? Kyler Murray or Michael Penix Jr.? The fact you got to think about it is crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. I want to say Michael Penix, but probably Kyler. But
who do you think is a better throw of the ball? Jalen Hurts or Michael Penix Jr.?
Jalen Hurts.
They have lower passing totals this season than Michael Penix Jr.
Well, I could understand that. Maybe not Jalen Hurts. I understand the Kyler Murray. He has no one outside of Michael Harrison Jr.
And then would you say Jaden Daniels is special? Would you say Jaden Daniels is a top 10 quarterback, Dylan?
He has the talent to be a top 10 quarterback. I think he's special, yes, to answer your question.
Okay. His over-under is 3,425.5. There's no way Jaden Daniels is only 25 yards better than Michael Penix Jr.
I don't know if under. Yeah, I know you're on the under. I don't think it's that he's better. I just think he has more talent around him.
There's no denying the talent around him, Dill. 3,400 passing yards is a huge number. Yeah, and I also don't expect him to have a higher completion percentage or average more yards a game than Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and Jaden Daniels. I just don't see it.
To your point, you think they're a below average team, which means they'll probably be down in a lot of situations. There might be garbage time where he gets another 100, 200 yards where they're just airing the ball out. That's possible, is it not?
Yeah, it absolutely is possible.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, 3,400 yards is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. How much? I know he only played a few games last year.
Yeah, 775, I believe.
775.
Something like that. It's over 700 passing yards in about 5-6 games.
Before we get to Bijan, what are your thoughts on Raheem Morris?
I think defensively, he's a solid defensive coach. As a head coach, I don't think he's that guy. That's just my opinion. I think we saw it last year. This Atlanta team, I was higher on last year than I am this year, and I think maybe not all his fault because Kirk Cousins did turn the ball over a bunch. You got to put some fault on Kirk Cousins, but Raheem Morris got to take some of that blame as well. So I think it was questionable coaching decisions, especially mid-season, last season, timeouts, 2-minute situations, stuff like that. So I think Morris is a good coach. I just don't think he's the right head coach for the Atlanta Falcons.
It's crazy because I agree with you, and I don't think he's a head coach material. But if he was a defensive guy, why is the defense so bad? And it's not like he doesn't have the players. he had a good team last year, I thought,
Yeah.
and they were last. So very
And
interesting.
not for nothing, I think this defensive line is worse than the defensive line coming in last season.
Yeah. Let's talk about Bijan. I do think he's a top 5 running back. He's insane. You got to draft him in fantasy if you're up there as well.
Yeah.
His rushing yards is at 1,200 and a half, minus 114 both ways. Rushing touchdowns, 10 and a half. It's double digits. If you like the over, it is at plus money, plus 112. If you like the under, it's favored at minus 148. What kind of season we seeing here for Bijan?
I don't know if he has another 1,400 yards rushing with 14 touchdowns still. But I think he goes over on these numbers still. I think, don't get me wrong, I think 1,200 rushing yards is a load. So I'm a little worried about that prop, but I like the over 10.5 touchdowns. I think you have to feed Bijan Robinson. I think him and Kyle Pitts should be the number 1 targets in the red zone, me personally. So it's a little rich, but I think at plus 112, I think it's worth the squeeze. Give me the over 10.5 touchdowns, 1,200 rushing yards. I'm a little skeptical of that. But I will take the over as well. And then my favorite prop of his, give me Bijan Robinson over 375.5 receiving yards. I think this number is a little too low. And I think with Michael Penix Jr. there, I think we're going to see Bijan flourish as a pass catcher once again like he did last season. So I think 375.5 is just too low. Wouldn't be surprised he's at 450, maybe 500 yards receiving.
Yeah, I like the receiving yard one as well. I guess stood away from the rushing touchdown. I thought it was a little high. I know he had 14 last year, but I love the over 1,200. You're right, 1,200 is a lot, but they have a top offense. But they have a top 5 offensive line, and when he busts through the hole, he's gone. You're not catching him. And one-on-one tackling.
He makes that first guy miss. It's a 20-yard run automatically. So 1,200 yards is a lot, and I do expect a drop off, but not like a 300-yard drop off. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's a little insane. We started by saying we like the Bijan's receiving yards because out of the backfield, I mean, just a little swing route out of the backfield, Michael Penix is going to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree on that. Let's talk about Drake London, though. I agree Kyle Pitts should be the number 1 target in the red zone, but other than that, Drake London should be their number 1 target. 1,125.5 minus 114 both ways. His receiving touchdowns 7.5. The under is favored at minus 125. The over is at minus 106. I stood away from Drake London's prop this year because he is so hot and cold, and I know a lot of people are high on him this upcoming season, and maybe it's just me, but I just think Kyle Pitts is going to break out this year. I say it every year, but I don't know. Try to convince me because I kind of stayed away from it.
I'll tell you my play, Dill. He did have a tremendous season last year. He had 1,270 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, averaged damn near 13 yards a catch. 100 receptions as well. I think he takes a step back, Dill. I think 11.25.5. Give me the under. Minus 114, Dill. I think that's a lot of yards. And he only went over this mark one time in his career. His rookie year, he had 866. Sophomore year, he had 905. He had 9 touchdowns last year. He only had 2 in 2023, 4 in 2022. I think Drake London is a great wide receiver. There's no doubt about it. But I just don't see him with the talent around him having 1,150-plus receiving yards. I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a better year than last season. I think Darnell Mooney, McLeod are great options at the 2nd and 3 at the wide receiver position. And then Bijan Robinson, I'm on his over as well. So I'm on record. I said under 3,400.5 passing yards. I just don't see all the wealth that's going to be passed around with the under going majority to Drake London. Don't get me wrong, he's special. Yeah. But I think Kyle Pitts will have a better year. I think Bijan Robinson is going to be lethal out the backfield receiving the ball. And let's not forget, Darnell Mooney had a great season last year. I think he had more touchdowns than Drake London, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's too much talent around for Drake London to just pop. Now, if a couple injuries pop up, I would like the over, but I think it's too many mouths to feed for Drake London to go over this mark when he only done it once in his career.
No, I agree. That's the kind of way I was leaning. I was going to lean the under, and I was just like, but I know he had a really good season. But he's so hot and cold that I think he might take a step down. Not saying he can still get 1,000 yards, but yeah, and still go under this. So yeah, I was kind of leaning under, but I kind of wanted to hear you before I made a play.
Did I convince you?
Yeah, I was leaning that way anyway. So yeah, I would take the under as well. Let's go to their number one target, Kyle Pitts. 525.5 minus 114 both ways, 3.5 touchdowns, minus 128 towards the over, minus 106 toward the under. Whatever your opinion on Kyle Pitts is, I think is fair. But this number is disrespectful. Both of them. I mean, he had a bad year last year and still went over this number, both numbers. The touchdowns usually is the thing. Now, even 2023, he went for over 600 yards. He only had 3 touchdowns. 2022, he didn't play all year. He only had 300 and something yards. And then his rookie year, he went for 1,000 yards, and everyone was like, oh, my God, he's the next thing. So only 1 year where he got hurt, he went under this number. 525.5 is a smash over. 3.5 touchdowns as well. Kyle Pitts is going crazy this year. We're going to see vintage Kyle Pitts like we saw his rookie year.
First of all, I love the energy. I'm going to stay away from the touchdown number just because he hasn't really found the red end zone like that throughout his whole career. Even in his rookie season, he had 1,000+ yards, but he only had 1 receiving touchdown. So I'm going to stay away from the touchdown.
That's the quarterback's fault, not his.
Yeah. I do agree with you. Numbers is disrespectful. I think Kyle Pitts at 525.5 might be a lock for the over. One thing that I can say that's special about Kyle Pitts, throughout his career, he averages over 13 yards per catch. That's pretty damn great, people. So 525 after 602 last season, 667 2023. We understand he got hurt in 2022, then 1,000 yards his rookie season. I just don't see how he goes under 525.5. Once again, I understand he has a bunch of talent around him, a lot of mouths to feed. I just don't see him going under 525. Maybe if it was 625, maybe. But 525, I think is too low, though. Give me the over 525, and I don't use the word often. Might be the lock.
Yeah, we don't use the L word around here, but man, that number is just insanely disrespectful. I think 3.5. I understand, honestly. I get it. He has struggled to find the end zone in his.
He only went over once in his career last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, where he had 4, barely went over it. But yeah, 500. Even in down years where people are like, oh, he's fell off. He ain't it. He still went over this number. So yeah, I agree. 525 is a smash over. Anything else for the Falcons? That's all I had.
Yeah, that's all I have, Dill. I got them to miss the playoffs under 7.5 wins at plus 120, and then under 8.5 wins at minus 140.
All right, kid. All right, one more division to go, and it is the NFC West. Rams and Cardinals will start later in the week, and then we'll finish it off with the 49ers and Seahawks. And then we're back after September 1st, little program update. After September 1st, we will be recording back to our 3-a-days for football starting September 3rd. Cannot wait, kid. We're right there. Football is back. All right. Hey, let's go to the MLB. You guys took 3 or 4. You'll take it. You'll take it from the Yankees.
Come on now. Anytime you could win, put it this. If you
on the road.
Yeah. If you win 3 out of 4 every series, you're most likely going to be the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. So shout out to Boston Red Sox. Taking care of business in the Bronx. I understand we didn't get to sweep, but who thought we was? The fact that we left out the Bronx 3-1 to me is a total success. Shout out to Red Sox.
And you guys are half a game above the Yankees right now. And honestly, I know we're getting to late. We're about a week left of August, so you got about a month left in the season. You're only 5 games out of the winning the division. You guys are in striking distance.
We are, but shout out to Blue Jays. I think you've been on it, Bill,
yeah.
since the All-Star break. Toronto's really been a horse. Shout out Toronto. I don't think I had them. I think I got them under the win total. Yeah. I was completely wrong by that. Shout out Toronto. They're doing something special up there. Can they sustain it throughout the playoffs? Gotta see it to believe it. But I think the Red Sox are in striking distance still because we have been hot. We've been one of the best teams in the second half of the season thus far. So it's just, can the Blue Jays slow down? That's the biggest question. I'm not worried about my rest. I'm worried about the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays,
yeah, they keep winning games. Got to give them credit.
All right, kid. Let's talk about Monday's slate. I actually kind of like this slate. You know, you guys played on Sunday Night Baseball. Now you guys have to travel. Not a tough
Not for
travel spot.
2 hour flight now. Hour and a
Yeah,
half flight, not 4.
maybe you even drive. It's like a 2-hour drive, so
No,
it's
at
not far to
3:40.
go from New York to Maryland. Do you like your Red Sox here? They're going against Sagano, who has been serviceable at home though.
Yeah, he's been serviceable at home though, but still, I think the Red Sox are. We got our eyes on the prize, and this series against the Orioles, maybe we might not have the same enthusiasm we did against the Yankees, but this is another series you must win 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4. I'm not sure how many games this series is, but give me the Red Sox minus 118 on the money line. Though I understand we tend to fade the people that played on Sunday Night Baseball here, and it's also a great trend.
Yeah,
But I think with Brandonino,
yeah.
he's the better pitcher right now. I think Sonago is solid, but Kim and I, Red Sox is playing better right now, and I think Brandino right now is the better pitcher. Give me the Red Sox on the road, minus 118 on the money line.
Anything else you like? I have a couple plays
Yeah,
I'll rattle off.
one last play, deal, and I apologize.
You're taking the Phillies, huh?
Philadelphia Phillies taking on the New York Mets. You got Christopher Sanchez on the mound versus Coda Seagan. Still, Seagan has been solid, but the Mets still, past month or so, disaster. Give me the better team, the hotter team. Give me the Philadelphia Phillies minus what's the odds I got? Minus 130. So check the numbers. I guarantee the Mets fans' money should be coming in because they're at home. So if you could probably get a better number in the evening.
Yeah, I want the Mets to win. I think this is a good series for the Mets to kind of gain some ground on the Phillies. But if they lose this series or get swept, it's OVER because then they're going to be 10 back with a month left. And honestly, crazy things have happened in this division, but I like Miami here. First home dog. Give me Miami. I think the wrong team is favored. I'm still fading the Braves here. Spencer Strider, just look at his last 3 games. He's been terrible. And Edward Cabrera has been really good at home. So I'm gonna take it's right now, it's minus 102. I got plus money last night, but I think the wrong team is favored. I'll take Miami here at home. I got a 2-pack here for you in this game with Noah Cameron and Shane Smith, Kansas City Royals, and the Chicago I almost said Chicago Twins, Chicago White Sox. I like the Royals minus 135, minus 134, great number, and then the under 8.5. The under has cashed all 3 times last week when these two teams played. 2 good pitchers with Cameron on the road, who's actually better on the road, and Shane Smith. Not a great record, but he is serviceable at home. So I'll take the under 8.5 as well. Just a value play. I know they've not been playing the best baseball right now, but getting plus 120 for the Brewers on the run line at home, fading Erod, yeah, I'll take that all day. I'll take the run line there. And then 2 bad pitchers that I'm going to fade in the St. Louis and Pittsburgh game, Oviedo and McGavery, over 7.5. These 2 teams, terrible right now. And St. Louis is a much better hitting team at home. So we'll take the over there, 7.5. I think the number is a little low. Kid, that's gonna do it. Anything else? What are your plans here for the rest of the week until I see you on Thursday?
Today I'm going to a water park, Aqua Splash, and I'm in DR. Going to Aqua Splash today. Tomorrow I'm gonna visit like a childhood mother and father. Justin's dad and Verna and Eduardo. They retired here in DR. They're about like an hour from me, so I'm gonna go visit them tomorrow with my dad and my girlfriend. That should be a good time there. Probably go out to eat, go swimming or something like that. Is
Justin there?
No, he just came back. We missed each other. I was like, damn, next year we gotta coordinate. Yeah, and then Wednesday I go to Punta Cana for 4 days. So
you live in the tree.
So from Wednesday to Sunday, I will be at a all-inclusive resort. You know how you do it. Not going to name the resort, but
no, we don't want to put
but 5-star adult only, all-inclusive. You know how we do.
Yeah, you're living the dream, kid. Well, enjoy. I am flying back tomorrow morning. Right back to the grindstone, work, slaving it. You know how it is. But I'll let you know how dirty Jersey is. And then, hey, enjoy it. And we'll be back on Thursday. But everyone, enjoy your plays. Good luck on all your bets. And we will see you guys on Thursday. Peace.